Hi, Vi Tribe. I'm Jess with Life Force Energy. Thank you so much for watching today. I wanted to update everyone with an energy report. A lot has been happening lately, and it's been a bit much for everyone as we've been working with people throughout the past few weeks. It has been energetically active, insanely active. In fact, many of you have written, have shared how your physical bodies are actually experiencing sensations that are not connected to your day-to-day life, and that it's just been coming out of nowhere, that many of you are experiencing variations of symptoms on the physical, and also noticing the metaphysical issues are heightening. So let's go ahead and let's start. We're going to talk about our energy update. Today is March 16th, 2022. We're going to give you an energy update for the full moon that's coming up in Virgo. Yeah, we know that when Virgo comes in, there's a lot of movement happening. We become very action oriented, and sometimes we can burn the candle at both ends because Virgo gets us into action. It's a no nonsense zodiac sign and helps us to realize what areas that we need to dive in more of our time in detail and get going with our reality. So let me go into a little bit more as well. In the past few years with the pandemic, that we've experienced many difficulties and challenges. The Virgo full moon on March 18th, 2022 is going to be an opportunity for you to sit, reflect, as we've been doing with most of our moons, but really sit in a different level of awareness in regards to pains and traumas, relationships that have ended, locations that you may have also changed into, and just you in general. You are not the same person from 2 years ago, and that's a good thing. Stagnancy is definitely can be it can rob a person from wonderful and also some challenges, but experiences overall is what we came here to learn and to enjoy on this planet. So let's talk about this full moon. It is an opportunity for you to use that full moon energy to heal. And it is time for us to sit with the pains, the traumas, the losses, the friendships, the betrayals, the words that have still been echoing in your heart and in your thoughts. It's the heartaches that we've experienced with people that we had expected to have a different connection with us, and then to find out that it was not what you had expected. This is an opportunity to give yourselves love and compassion for these relationships and changes that we've all endured in the past few years, because we're doing the best that we can on this planet. We have so many things to juggle and to put and invest our energy and focus upon, that at times we can get lost in it, and at times we may actually become more depleted by giving way too much of ourselves, not realizing that we were doing it. And I'm noticing, not only in my own life, but with my clientele, my Vibe Tribe is noticing how much they were giving of themselves and what was reciprocated or not. And a lot of you are coming to terms that that kind of behavior in exchange with others just isn't going to fall suit for you any longer. The past years of this pandemic has been quite emotionally disturbing and challenging. It's been a period of an internal and external changes, shifts, difficulties, and stressful moments, but it's also been of great opportunities of growth, understanding, acceptance, of clarity, and bliss. Yeah, even in the midst of it all. Here's an opportunity for all of us to sit with our pain and our trauma, not to sit in there and dwell in and live in it and only live in that confines, but it's an opportunity for us to go like this. Hey, I made it through. It was terrible. I had a hard time, but I was in a different level of how I handled it this time around. And I've also gained so much wonderful insights, and I'm becoming a better version of myself because of these challenges that I've dealt with. This is an opportunity where Virgo is going to teach you, this zodiac sign is going to teach you the importance of how to heal within yourself. So even if you're not sure how, you're going to be intuitively led in that manner of having to heal oneself. This beautiful full moon in Virgo is going to inspire many of us to heal in this long journey that we've been dealing with, especially on the emotional front. We have all been going through so many emotional expansions and stretching and depleting and having to deal and feel. Well, the reason why is that those emotions weren't being processed because we were all distracted. Come on, I know I was. In 2019, I was traveling to and from California every month. I was living in Colorado and California, just being able to service the people and to take care of my own family. And so I didn't get much of an opportunity to truly, genuinely process what was going on inside of Jessica all these years from childhood up to the present time. So, what happened to me and what has happened to many on this planet is that we've all had to deal with our own personal tragedies and areas of personality that we need to work on, and then interactions with others. A lot of us are feeling it mostly now because the last few years you've just been adjusting in survival mode, trying to find your way, know how to deal with all these new ways of living with controlled, whether we can do certain things or whether we could not. That's a lot to process. And this is the opportunity for all of us to sit with our feelings and know that we don't need to be perfect and the people that we're dealing with are not perfect. So then you start taking away ideas that really don't fit our reality, and it helps to release certain stresses from the body. When you come to terms and realizing that you are also dealing with unhealed emotions and thoughts because of what people done to you, how life you are dealing with things in life, that you too could have perhaps triggered others as you were being triggered. These are areas that we got to sit with ourselves and heal ourselves and forgive other people, because the reality is that life isn't perfect and neither are we. That doesn't justify us for us being idiots and hurting each other on purpose or self-inflicting issues upon us because we are not learning how to process these emotions. And those who come to me at Life Force Energy, what we work on consistently is the emotions and the thoughts. Because as we've learned, everything has energy. Those emotions and thoughts carry frequencies. Some of them are very debilitating and depleting, and other ones are life-giving and restorative. So this is an opportunity for you to sit down with what you've been feeling, what you've been experiencing, write it out, cry it out, take a pillow, scream it out, sing a song, dance it out, exercise, run, communicate with people that are not maybe in the same circle of the people that you may have had disagreements or disconnections with, because then it's not fair to them in the sense of they don't want to have to choose sides. So already an evolved, mature person would know not to communicate mishandlings with others in the same familiar circles, because it's not fair to those other people. What that one person did to you did that to you, and vice versa. But a lot of us are going through emotional maturation. I know I have to, and I am open to accepting and receiving that. We've learned that life does not need to be perfect, and we can't perfect it, especially when we've got things that are out of our control, like our economy, other worldly issues. We've got illnesses and diseases that have impaled and attacked our planet. So we've got a lot that we're feeling. So what we can control is how we behave, what we feel, and how we react. That's the only real genuine control that we have. And if all of us can be accountable, self-accountable, and be able to learn what that is and how to process, then we would most likely be able to handle our emotions in a healthy manner, which would not impale another. And that's what we really can work on. And Virgo full moon is going to make you really start feeling and sensing, but also be held accountable for your behaviors and your actions. So that way you can see those errors, see those voids that have been created in your life, and so that you don't have to keep reliving it, because we are in a different vibration right now on the planet, and it's for us to move away from our past and move forward into the future. Also, that I would suggest, because I work with emotions, to regret your past decisions or to make yourself feel that you were not spiritual enough or religious enough, or whatever expectations we place upon ourselves that you may not possibly even be aware of at the moment. Realize that every choice, every action, especially in the past, we cannot go back and undo it, but in the present time we can address it and we can move forward with how we're going to be in our life. And that in itself is so liberating, because every day that we are given is an opportunity for tender mercies to be granted to us and for us to grant it to others. Right now the whole world is suffering. And so, as I'm being reminded, Spirit wants me to talk about forgiveness. This full moon, if you allow it and you allow forgiveness for yourself and for others, letting them go, whatever has been going on in the past few years with family, friends, people that you've worked with, just people in general, this is an opportunity for you to look at the bigger picture and realize that you deserve the forgiveness, and so do they. I know, even when they cuss you out, tell you all these things and speak behind your back and just want to ruin you. I know. But let me go into something deeper. Vibe Tribe, if those people are doing that, that shows that they're hurt. They're crying for attention, your attention and everyone else's attention, to side with them so that they can feel better about whatever is going on in their lives, because perhaps their lives are out and going through chaos or out of bounds for them and they're overwhelmed. So here's a beautiful thing. This moon is offering us forgiveness for ourselves, and it's a really hard form of release. Forgiveness is an emotion that kind of wants to stick on you like gum, or the way other things kind of get stuck. And forgiveness is that kind of frequency that makes you stuck. So it's something that is worth practicing, because that means that forgiveness is going to support you by releasing you from the stress indicators and allowing you to no longer be stuck, but to move forward. The forgiveness for others is you're bestowing upon the other a highly favorable frequency of, I release you from the way you've treated me and how that created pain. I release you from it because I'm no longer going to allow your issues to inflict pain and trauma in my life anymore. So you see how forgiveness can go even wider if you allow it to. And because forgiveness is a huge form of release, when you forgive yourself and you forgive others, guess what you're releasing? The lower vibrational frequencies that cause you harm, metaphysically and physically, internally, externally, in your environment. Forgiveness of oneself and of others is healing, and it shows emotional growth. I'm working on it too. I don't have it down packed. I've gotten really well. I've forgiven a lot of people. Still working on some of a few, because they like to come in and trigger, and they like to send really mean, messages and things of that nature. And I could respond, but that would be my unhealed ego only feeding into theirs. So I choose not to, and allow divine universe to intercede on my behalf. And sometimes, friends, by us being able to forgive others and not having to go into this full-blown argument and attack, because right now we got a lot of warlike energies on our planet, so it's stirring us up. Humans, your environment will inflict some kind of change in your life. So we've got a lot of warlike, anger, violent energies all throughout the planet. We got a lot of anger and pain and frustration and hatred and division. So if you've noticed that the people that you've been surrounded by, and you may have been friends with or had a great, loving, intimate, romantic relationship with, or people that you worked with and you were great at some point and no longer, you can take it personal, and they may even project it personally, but a lot of it's internally that hasn't been processed and stuck inside of them. So it's making people go out of whack and behave in ways that are outside of their character. So just consider, when you're holding this anger and resentment towards yourself and other people, you're actually attracting more of it to come through until you actually have learned the lesson of it. And also keep in mind, by holding these frequencies within ourselves and how others treat us, we are going to allow those energies to keep following through, because like attracts like. Did you hear that part? Like attracts like. So try to cleanse yourself, try to be aware of your emotions so that way when others try to project it, you can realize if it's your own, maybe you have part of that, you may own some of that, and or it could also be the person's just not in a good place. So disconnect if you can to relieve yourselves from the conflict. I also wanted to share by expressing more gratitude, even for those that have created these difficulties in your life. By expressing gratitude, it becomes easier for you to forgive yourself and to forgive that person and to not give any further of your energy. What I'm going to share is preserve and protect your energy. So this is what the energy report is really about. Yes, we are dealing with so many frequencies. We're dealing with so many changes that will influence how we will live in the next 5 years currently right now. And that's why it's a bit overwhelming. But I do want to share with you that as you are journeying in this timeline, by expressing gratitude along with compassion, forgiveness, those energies are going to be returned right back to you. So if we live in an energy, in a gratitude attitude, then we attract more things to be gratitude attitude about because we're beginning to see the bigger picture. We see the details, we see the miracles, we see the loving people that are not attacking us, but reminding us to keep going and that we are loved and we are cared for and supported and others see the value in you. And even if they don't, that's okay too. But we must see it within ourselves. And I think that's the greatest lesson that we're learning right now in the past few years is how do we hold the value of our own energy? And then how do we influence other people's energy just by being present? So that's something I wanted to share with you. Do you need to forgive yourself? Or do you need to forgive someone else or others? This is something for you to contemplate as we approach our full moon in Virgo on the 18th. So those are things I wanted to share with you. Here's a little bit about the energy update that I was given earlier today. And here's the question that Spirit gave to me. What are you broadcasting from your energy field? So we've talked about the emotion codes. Everything carries a frequency. How you put your energy into your life and the life of others can create positive and detrimental impacts on how your reality can be shifted. Let me say that again. How you put your energy into your life and to the life of others can create positive and detrimental impacts on how your reality can shift. So something to think about. Maybe I know some of us humans have a hard time forgiving others. Maybe you can just forgive for you to allow healthier impacts to shift in your life. Another wonderful reason to allow yourself to want to go deeper in that area of your emotions. Here's another thing that Divine was sharing and that I've seen throughout the years of the work that we do energetically. The way we can behave can become our worldviews. So the way that we think, the way that we feel, if we're in that energy of, I want to argue, I want to get my point across, I want to make sure you know that you're a piece of shit and that I'm better than you, well, then that's going to also trickle effect in your environment as well. So keep that in mind. But if you're here and saying, I see you, I see your power, I believe in your strength, here are ways that you can accomplish these goals, here is some love and words of encouragement for you. You just shifted your reality and the reality of others. You see where I'm going with that? When we can live, speak, and be action-oriented in a peaceful manner, we can shift realities immediately. Immediately. Just as when certain parts of the world is under attack, did it not shift the realities immediately? It shifted for many. A lot of the times we think the way that we behave, the way that we feel, the way that we act with ourselves and with others, that it's not a big deal. But realization is when you start learning more about energies and frequencies and how it's all around us, within us, surrounding us, and that we are all intertwined. Our lives are intertwined. Our energies are intertwined. We are an interconnected consciousness accessing light frequencies into our bodies. When we think about how we could use our attention in a manner that can impact the webs and threads of life, we could use it in a manner that's healing, restorative, and life-giving. I think about like when I use my remote healing, and I use it all around the globe, all around the globe. Energy cannot be stopped. That's why when our thoughts can be towards a family member, and they don't even have to be in the same state, it could be positive, it can be good. One way or another, it's going to influence that person, especially because of the blood, the genetics that intertwines you. But then it also can impact those who are not blood related as well. So if you're sending someone, when someone says, oh, can you all pray for me? And all these people start praying for them and start interceding, it can support them. It can help the people that are involved. It can help to make positive changes. It's the same idea. Thoughts and emotions genuinely create an energetic force and can create a frequency that can uphold you or can destroy you. So as I use remote healing to bring forth healing and restoration and peace and comfort and release within the person, keep in mind that as we accept frequencies with our own awareness and consent, life changes, energy shifts. But you have to give it some kind of consent. So when I say, when you allow another person to take you down, it's because at some level of awareness, you allowed them to do so. Maybe it was out of empathy, compassion, connection that you've had with them for so many years. We have history or whatever. There is some kind of emotional and thought-like connection. That's how these people are able to enter your field and those boundaries are dropped. So as you focus on loving energies and thoughts towards a soul, the higher vibrations support and empower that person. Yeah. And if we have thoughts that are negative, we can disempower another. Even when we think it's not possible, it can be done. Everything is energy. Everything has a vibrational signature. On top of currently the energy report that I was sharing with you all as we got the full moon, you can look right now. I may have placed some articles on my Facebook page, but you can look up on Google. We have some major solar flares happening. Coronal mass injections are impacting the planet. It is affecting our weather. It is affecting those who are living and inside of this planet. One way or another, we're going through some kind of sensations. We're experiencing something. We're having major mass coronal injections, solar storms, flares. We've also got, unfortunately, we have weapons that are emitting frequencies that are debilitating to our planet's energetic magnetic shields, and also breaking down the defenses of many people on this planet. Some of you are feeling it on a physical symptom. Some of you may be getting little to no sleep at all. Some of you may only can sleep as if you're just trying to regenerate. And even when you wake up, you're not fully restored. Many of you have complained of body aches and strains that has nothing to do with the physically active event that would create those physical sensations in the body. I have a lot of you saying you're feeling very depleted. Your solar plexus is being honed in and depleted tremendously because of what is going on our planet. Let's talk about those energies. These energies of anger, of hatred, of fear, anxiety, despair, frightening is lowering overall the world's vibrational level. So then here we have to come in and raise those vibrations, raise the emotions of I'm optimistic, I'm enthusiastic, I'm capable, I've got inner strength, I am powerful, and I use my power wisely. Like using different emotion codes and thought forms to change the vibration level in your life can genuinely create a higher vibration in the way you interact with others, in the way you attract into your life. And you'll also notice with the energies that are inside of our planet right now, there's all kinds of things going on right now. You may have also noticed vivid dreams, so strong and potent. A lot of you may even notice your psychic intuition, guidance, and abilities are increasing exponentially. Have you noticed that? I have. Let me put it this way. Right now, we are in a time of exponential energetic charges, and they are affecting our planet. We can see it in our weather. We are seeing it even in our animals, the way humans are going through a lot of roller coaster effects of emotions and thoughts towards themselves, towards others. I mean, anyone that's on this planet right now is experiencing some level of stretching, challenging, being tested, being refined. These are rapid frequencies that are entering our planet and are changing people and their lives in quantum leaps. And you're noticing you're becoming more connected to divine source, to your angels, and to your higher self. What I could suggest in this time as we approach the full moon in Virgo, give yourself some forgiveness. Write yourself a forgiveness letter to yourself and to someone else. You may never have to send it to them. You can burn it. You can keep it in your journal because you can reflect back and look at how much you've grown and how much those issues don't harm or affect you any longer. So it shows the healing process. So these are ways that I share so that we can take notice of our growth, take notice of our pain and how we shifted and transversed it transmute it into a manner that's healthier and more positive. And by us staying in that loving, kind, and being more connected to source, and we're respectful and we're composed, our souls are commanding these energies that can support us in a very healthy manner within and also can spread around us, helping us to live in a higher level of consciousness in a healthier space and energy. But the thing is, each individual is the only one that can make it happen. So if we all take responsibility, take ownership, and do our due diligence in practicing how we feel, how we react, how we interact with others, we can change this planet immediately. But we got to be willing to not be ready to attack those who attack us. And what do I mean by that? Some people are going to come to you in a very emotional state and will want you to react. Again, here's the question that Divine gave to me to share with all of you. What are you broadcasting from your energy field? And the other one that I love that Spirit said to me was, let me go back, going into my notes. I wrote a lot. And how we live, speak, and act, and how we're action oriented can also shift our reality. So there's a lot going on. I know you're all feeling it. I'm going through it. Oh my gosh. This has been such a huge roller coaster ride of frequencies energetically, whether it's personally or professionally. I've been going through it, and I'm sure all of you are too. This is why I want to share with you, how could you use it? What is Spirit wanting us to really reflect on? How we can relate it in our lives and how we can influence our reality at the same time that as we are present, we too are also accountable about how we are relating to others surrounding us energetically. So we got to be aware of that. And if you're in a place of devastation or a place of personal growth and healing, awesome. Because it takes courage to do it. Healing is not for the meek. Healing is to strengthen the weak. And so if that's what you're working on, bravo to you, because it's going to take a courageous soul to say, I am ready, able, willing, and eager to be the best version of who I am meant to be and embody to be fulfilled in this timeline. So you have any comments with regards to, have you been going through that with relationships, with the way your interactions are? How are you being influenced? How are you broadcasting your energy? What are you doing right now on how you are composed and how you are living right now with all of these really intense energies that are impacting our planet? Share. I'd love to hear from you. Thank you so much for watching. I do my best to get on here when Spirit says, come on, Jess, let's go ahead and talk to the collective and share with the Vibe Tribe. I'm sure that this is some things that they're going through. Let's validate, let's confirm, let's remind them that they too are growing as they're going through these wonderful opportunities of change and transition and deep healing transformation. If you're interested in learning more about my energy reports, I never know when they're going to come on. It's when I'm literally spirit led is when I get on here. Please follow our Facebook page because this is where I do my lives. And for those of you that don't have Facebook but would love to watch and just listen and kind of hear as you're going about your day, you can follow me on YouTube as well. I will be posting that. So thank you for following, thank you for listening, and thank you for sharing your experiences as well. Have a beautiful day, everyone. Love, insight, and healing. Take care, Vibe Tribe.